This story will cover from then to now and next, all about change, how to turn losers into winners. A super fisher, a bird's eye view. This osprey searches one of the most famous wetlands on the planet, the Florida Everglades in the USA. It's a place of conflicts, wildlife, people, agriculture and huge corporations, which could affect the lives and deaths of people around the world. So it is said. We'll try and untangle this mix. This pair will be our guides to the River of Grass, a slow-moving mass of water heading south, vital to golf courses, huge farmed fields, and drained by a network of canals that have changed the Everglades forever, for people. So is there anything left for wildlife? Well, yes, alligators and lots of birds and fish. He's gone fishing. Leaving her to look after the nest on a man-made platform. Where the fresh water meets the sea are mangroves and dolphins. And sharks. And turtles. Such diversity, but now for none. That is apart from the variety of high-powered equipment used to turn what was a diverse wild landscape into a monoculture, be it vegetables or sugar, and that's the one to watch. Man-made rain and rainbows, taken from the River of Grass, intercepting its ancient flow to the sea. These are the massive tools of the trade, the start of a food chain that leads to our fizzy drinks and our obesity, diabetes and maybe death. Tiny man has the power to change the planet, indeed must, to feed his species as their numbers grow out of control, birth control that is. Freshwater is one of the most valuable commodities on Earth, be it for people or wildlife. The South Florida Management District claims to be the protector of the Everglades since 1949. But what does that mean? To a little heron perhaps, and its slippery prey, and to our osprey. Who misses. And then doesn't. Size counts, and an anhinga makes the point very neatly. Fat fish make fat birds, but for humans, death can be the cost of fatness, as those vultures seem to symbolize. And so does he. A very fat alligator. He may take an egret, but not a koch or a person, at least very rarely. Could the real killer be sugary drinks, and if so, what can be done? Difficult to ban such popular stuff, and so widely advertised around the world. And like smoking, it does kill. But in the case of the Everglades in Florida, it can kill one of the richest ecosystems in the world. And this is what can happen. As the water level drops, perhaps taken to grow sugar, a very thirsty crop, fish die, and their predators may starve. Like our osprey family back at the nest. Such is the unlikely link between an enjoyable fizzy drink and a beautiful bird of prey, who many people would not wish to harm. That did happen in the past with DDT and other chemicals. Now it seems farming could be another deadly connection. So this, the great river of grass, has become in some large areas a desert of sugar. Out there are thousands of species living together as they have for thousands of years. Sugar's impact is similar around the world, a deadly monoculture. Chimpanzees, our nearest relative, they are suffering in Uganda in East Africa. Deforestation, not so much because of this impoverished local man trying to support his family, but because of demand from far away, coming from massive, rich corporations. The real cost of that spoonful of sugar, or more, is a cleared landscape, effectively a desert, except for sugar, and only sugar. And now here comes a dodo, that famous extinct bird from Mauritius, the big island off Africa in the Indian Ocean. Man wiped it out. The big pigeon-like bird couldn't fly and couldn't survive man's massive impact. And it wasn't just the dodo itself that was affected. The land was cleared for sugar, big business, big exports, many jobs, especially for workers from Asia. But the bad news was that the natural world so special to Mauritius was all but destroyed. Water, sun, to sugar, across the world. Tourists leaving on a jet plane, enjoying their sweet tea or a cola, may be unaware of the dodo's sad fate and the ecological curse of sugar and the damage to their health. We are told children now have to have all their teeth removed because of the wrong diet. So is a picnic on the beach near the Everglades a meal of doom? Hardly so, one would hope, but there's certain to be a cool box of sodas not far away. Part of the problem is lack of exercise, we're told.
That's your best viewing. How about if I do the brown version and you do
The Osprey gets plenty of it on its rounds, which include built-up areas of roads, canals, car parks, factories. So does the egret. Both these species have adjusted to man and his landscapes very well. A bird's eye view reveals just how different the place is today from the once wild and pristine marshes. Water is still a vital ingredient to all life here, however shaped it is by man's demands. Even as decoration for the enjoyment of all those consumers who, yes, consume sugar in many forms, from breakfast cereals to ready meals, to, yes, lots and lots of colas. Does his diet include fish? Maybe, but maybe not. It's more likely to come from just along the coast as the osprey flies. And changes its mind. This is serious business, not just threatening the health of millions of customers, but a powerful lobby affecting the politics of the state of Florida. Sugar may be sweet, but it's probably bad for us in all its many forms. Some will definitely survive. Cattle egrets have landed here and flourished, adapting to both wetlands and drylands, and bulldozers instead of bulls. No problem as long as food is revealed. A few species like cattle egrets and vultures can actually benefit, but it's a tiny fragment of what was here before the sugar cane came, and with it some of the most sugar-laden cereals of all. The process needs massive energy. Massive water supplies and chemicals that are carried by canals and on into the food chain. Including fish that cormorants eat, and we may too. Maybe that is the real price of sugar, and here comes the chemical runoff. And that winner, once nearly destroyed by chemicals, increasing all over this place, and now providing pleasure to many birders who flock to this fantastic national park.
That's what I experienced. What'd you find?
A precious remnant from the past. A quick shake. That's before sugar, canals, houses and almost everything else human seemed to take over. Thank goodness for these humans, the National Park Service. We know from the past birds at the top of the food chain, like ospreys, can be a warning from the wild. We're up there too, as fish eaters. Teeth affected young and old.
Ah, it's going for a swim. Yeah, it's going for a swim. A swim. Bird's going for a swim.
Overweight and unsafe.
This is where I got the little blue heron.
Yum, yum. They're all having dinner. Having dinner. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Too much food and fizzy drinks can make you fat and even ill, especially sugary stuff. It's hot and dusty out there. Time for a cooling drink. Some feet are useful for stirring up small fry. Others for diving in with fish, hooks, talons and beak. The Florida Everglades could go either way. It could be sugar demand, water demand, housing demand, tourist demand, but that's all human demand, which is behind climate change. And it so happens that Miami, Florida is likely to be amongst the first to be flooded. No problem if you're an osprey that eats fish, but a major challenge for lots of people whose lifestyle may have to change for all sorts of reasons.